Good morning, folks. We're live. I am still quite exhausted post-release. But what I figured I'd do is over the next week or so, I'll do a few sort of shorter streams, maybe 3-4 hours type sort of a deal. And I'll merge some environments. I'll sort of start thinking a little bit about what we're going to do with Pupper 5. I'll clean some stuff up that I didn't get to and all of that. I think that'll be a decent thing to do. Happy 4-0. Thanks, Tim. Well, trying to think if we just start merging ends. Maybe we just start merging some ends. See what boxes we've got open. Idle. Alright, we can do this one. Brad from 4-0, thank you. I've been completely exhausted for the last several days. I barely even had motivation to do any exercise. So I definitely have crashed, but and it's gonna be quite a while before I'm back, doing full days, but I figured I'd put in a few shorter streams. See how it goes. Okay. So we'll see if there's any issue with this. We will do. It'll work. And hex. Okay, so we got Tim's PR here. T. Okay, it's just a bunch of small. These PNGs could get compressed. Got binding.c. This is a. This is a 3.0 env. Let's see. So we'll have to port this. Not that one. Where do we have Boxabone? Oh. Are you like, if you're watching from home, Tim, can you compress the asset files real quick? Those look like they're pretty small PNGs and they're just like massive. Should be able to shave like, a few megs off the PR. Not a big deal if not. I'll merge it either way, but yeah, this is extra 8 megs of assets. Okay, let's see what we have here. So binding, standard init, that's interesting. Byte tensor obs. Not sure. I mean, just any of the compression tools would do it. Swap them to JPEGs. Thanks, Anish. Nah, no worries, Tim. You can PR that later. I mean, it's way more important that we actually just get this nicely integrated first. A little weird, but okay. Oh wait, this is the .c file, so this is fine. Okay, this is fine. Fairly clean. Set buff. You should not have to do this. There are a couple weird things, but nothing too major here. Only 430 lines for the actual env itself is very nice. This .py file is now completely redundant. Oxyben maps. Is this... Okay, so there is a map generator as well. That's fine. I'll have to look at the map gen code separately. It will take... Yeah, I'm gonna just be merging M's whenever, Anish. There's several I have to do. I would say that your constant names are quite long. Yeah, these constant names are quite long, which leads the code to be very long down here. The lines to be very long. Not a huge deal. One thing to just pay attention to, though. is directed at 4. Oh, okay, so let's get this merged in. Protein structures for protein. So longer term biosim is probably my top interest category for Puffer. I really think that RL needs to be a super stable, mature thing though first. We're only 1 or 2 versions away from that. I think the next little bit of research, we should pretty much get ourselves into the territory where we're just solving crazy problems out of the box. And then I'll be a lot more confident throwing it on much heavier stuff like that. Really annoying. To be determined, Anish. I hope so. Try. Okay. Ooh. Yeah, that's a messy merge. Yeah, it's no biggie. I'll move stuff. Less than half a second. Yeah, pretty fast. Wasn't expecting. No worries, Tim. I'll fix it up a little bit, and then we'll chat about it a bunch some other time. I'm just gonna fix some conflicts and get it cleaned up. I won't mess with all the code. I'll do code review and improvement stuff with you later when we're both around. Okay, well. See, this was a mess here. Need this. Here we are. Much better, right? Alright. There's my autocomplete. Okay, only 3 million SPS is not amazing. Figure out why that is. Oh, tiny mini batch size, duh. We can resweep this easily. Alpha Lib Ocean. shouldn't get moved. Oh, there, that works. Yeah, that goes. Failed to configure. Not good. I see. This is one of these examples of like, if you're learning to program from Claude, like this is complete bullshit here. This error checking just doesn't need to exist. You shouldn't ever be handling stuff like this. It should just fail immediately. Okay. Much better. Let's see if can give us a clean. Have a clean merge. Okay, the .ini file, C file, .h maps file. We're missing resources. Much better, right? All right. Blending's a little weird. Jonah's got a nice PR for us here. Box. Oh. Oh, that's just the, hang on. That's really annoying, actually. This is just an old leftover install. Here. Okay, so 3 ml SPS. This looks solved to me, right? Right. So now we have 6 GPUs running sweeps. And we just leave this be. We'll see if we get a cool policy out of it. Lowies. Yeah, just doing a few hour stream at the moment. I just merged in Tim's Boxabun environment. It needed some fiddling with to get it nicely into 4.0, and I started up a sweep on it. So we got 6 GPUs running against it on the medium maps, and we'll see how that goes. Um, I'm gonna get a quick bench set in, then we will proceed to the next thing. I'm thinking today's a 250 day. All right. What the heck? Kinda weird. Really weird exercises. All right, next thing. Environments. What environments do we merge? It's a cool little env. Actually, like that. We have lots to choose from. The 3-0. Oof. Maybe this one's not bad. Just all split up into a bunch of different files. Yeah, this is the type of thing that will be LLM heavy. Because what I basically would want to do is I just want to, like, stick everything all together. This should also be a sprite sheet. Yeah, but they're tiny, it doesn't super matter. Maybe we can just port this in. I actually don't know how to do this off the top of my head. Hang on. Already up to date. Okay. Whose untracked files in them? Seriously? So annoying. Still? Oh, fuck that. Yeah, we're not doing that. Well, now we know that's not a thing we do. It's so funny to me how it's like literally the best way to do things is to just copy the damn files over. I've done that enough times now that I no longer feel like an idiot for just doing it wrong. It's just genuinely the case that the heavy git tools just suck. Like, no, I'm not rebasing it. I'm not cherry picking. Fuck off. Like, literally, the best way to do this. Alright, here's the non-idiot way to do this. Or rather, the idiot way to do this. Clone this. So look at the PR. Right? We move the resources, right? There. Then just do this. Burrito sweep. I should dock it, Jess. I haven't played with it in a while. It's one of the things I was meaning to play with more. Better than the alternatives? Not really. I'm just sick of giving Anthropic money. And I really don't use these models as heavily as other people do. So See, this here is like this is a very, very well defined simple port. You see, this is pretty much just the same thing. It really, this scrolling bug is really annoying though. Okay, it caught this. Nice. I recommend great books or resources. Yeah, so we have all the resources right here. They're all free. I have a pretty extensive collection of articles. You can start down here with the guides and like all of our latest research. So all the new soda stuff that just came out in the last week, we have. I mean, look at this. This is how we made RL 20 million steps per second. Very accessible engineering article. This is our new like high performance RL visualizations. This is our new soda architecture. All here. All we ask is that you star the puffer on GitHub. AI Engineer Conference. Recommend this library. Thank you. Yeah, so the deal around here is I do ultra high performance RL. We do engineering, we do like research, we do a lot of stuff. You're catching me right after the recent release. It's like 8 months worth of dev. So we have some pretty awesome new tools out now, and they're stable and they're easy to use. And I'm pretty tired from that, so I'm sort of going to be getting back into the workflow over the next few weeks. And we're merging a whole bunch of contributor environments, contributor made RL environments that I haven't had a chance to look at since. We have some new research items on the agenda to look into, and we've got some plans for the next version to go over. 1700 lines. That could be one env. Oh, it's just a 3-onion soup. Oh. See. MLX and Puffer. There's a Torch backend for it, but Puffer 4 itself is CUDA. CUDA's NVIDIA. We do have a Torch fallback that I think you can pass. Not MLX, MJX, right? I don't know. Whatever is the one that Torch uses, the Torch Apple backend technically you can use. There's also a guy that was doing like a bunch of metal shaders, but frankly, you end up spending more effort than it would take to write all of Puffer 4 in order to support your ridiculously slow, overpriced hardware. Like seriously, it's a fifth of the speed of hardware the same price. Or less. And that's after you optimize. There we are. Hey, this just works. Oh yeah, what we need is back. Fuck. Minimum VRAM for a CUDA card? I mean, it's just your budget, right? The puffer is very friendly on VRAM. You can run even a lot of it with 4 gigs. I think that like the main reason to get like a 5090 over a 4090, for instance, is the speed. It's not the VRAM. I think there's maybe 1 or 2 ends that have configs by default that don't fit on the 4090, and like you could very easily re-optimize that to fit on the 4090. Puffer is really nice, and actually we don't even have it VRAM optimized. Like Puffers should be considered really memory unfriendly the way we do stuff, and it's still just way more compact than other stuff out there. We could probably improve our memory usage quite a bit without a ton of effort. Sacrifice maybe like a couple percent perf. Okay, 11 mil SPS. Hey, Volt. Not fully back to work. I figured I'd do a few hour stream today. I'd be very happy to take a look at least start taking a look at your end though, as soon as I get this one merged. I'm almost done with this. Oh yeah, Vault. This is how you can tell I've been pretty exhausted and not wanting to do anything. Uh, this is from the last 3 days, from like 85, and then this is 2 days before it. What did I do? Was am AFK? Nope. I did frickin' uh mahogany gnome benches and black d'hide bodies. This here, by the end of today, I'll have 90 here for redwood log lantern, and then I can AFK this during leagues. Burning through some cash. I don't ever do this, but let's just say I might have rewarded myself for the release with a few bonds. I figured I wouldn't ruin the experience for myself just by, cutting 4 hours off of the like cutting what was it? No, like cutting like 7 or 8 hours off of the crafting grind, which with versus what I would have done normally. Oh, this works. Straight up buy the XP. Yeah. I mean, realistically, it just boosts me to 450k an hour optimal versus 330k for the cheap method. Where the hell did it go? It's just not saving the file? No, it's just not saving the file. This is nice. We get a nice clean GIF out of this. Now let me figure out who submitted this. Suppose. There we go. Ran into dependency issues. I think. Anish, if you show dependency issues while running the Docker, you shouldn't run into dependency issues while running the Docker. If you, I need the report of them to fix it though. Dinosaur ends. If it's PR'd, I'll take a look. Okay, this is the contributor that submitted this. Blog about Puffer. Oh yeah, cool. there an env in here, Anish? Do you have an env number for me? I also want to look at Vault's Vault stuff. I'm not entirely sure what to do with Vault stuff, given that he has a PR with more lines of code than all of Pufferlib. I think I get to start looking at it. Yeah, Jesus, man. What should I do with this? I mean, I want to at least let me pull this, I guess, and play with it first. You have this many files. Let's see. These all assets. Okay, so the good news is a lot of these are just assets that aren't on a sprite sheet. There's enough of these that we should sprite sheet some of it, but even have ancient curses on here. Wait, I totally can't have. I can't PR the assets to this, right, Vault? That'll get us copyright claimed. Pipeline. I see. I think those are gonna have to get zipped and then uploaded somewhere. I mean, I don't even know how I'm supposed to look at. Okay, so presumably, I'm guessing that you've been like getting LLMs to do porting and write tests or something. You're not going to tell me you write comments like this, right? Or that you've written 40,000 lines of code in the last couple months. Oh, I like the structure at the very least. Looks like you got big chunky files for the thing. A lot of back and forth. Oh, I imagine. It looks like you're kind of doing this in the way that actual... I'm hoping that you're doing this in the way that actual engineer who knows what he's doing does, when you have just a giant blob of stuff to port, and kind of the only way to do it reasonably was with heavy LLM use. This is roughly what I would probably do. I love the way that frickin' LLMs format stuff. The fuck. I want to try this out though. Let's do... How long is the Inferno file alone? Abstracting? Honestly, I don't like... Abstracting is kind of a bad word around here. especially for its own sake. We basically only ever do stuff that just makes the code massively shorter. Okay, so I guess I'm just gonna clone this for now and play with it a little bit. Branch, yeah. Easy for devs to understand. I see. And a lot of that comes down to not making a bunch of fancy systems. Where's the config for this? So where's my config? Am I blind here? I don't see configs. But where's the code? Like, how do you... Ah. But wait, the config? Oh, is it in Ocean, maybe? Ah, yeah, there it is. Is this just gonna pop up and render? I don't see it rendering. Alright, Vault, how am I supposed to render this stuff? Separate binary? How do I build it? Xhost before I enter the container? Yeah, I don't know, Anish. It'd be nice if somebody would figure out what the hell that is about and if there's a way around it. PD. You have make. Make. Ah. Alright. CD Ocean. Uh, it's not linking Raylib because Raylib isn't here. Do I need to move Raylib into here? Like, how do you set up Raylib for this? Oh, you need the assets. Can you get a install script or something so I can try this? I want to play with this. Let's see if train works. Invalid size. And well, how do I make this thing run? Once I can get this thing to run nicely, I can I can start running sweeps and stuff. I have nice servers to run sweeps on. Already 264 Oxabun experiments. Alright, let's see. Python. Wait. There is no setup.py, my guy. Is there one in here? Wait. There's no setup.py. What are we on about? Suarez, Inferno, Zuck. We get this, like, calc failure, right? There's no config for this either. Because already migrated the build. Yeah, I did this. But then I can't, like, you know? And you don't have a standalone, so there's no, at least not where it's expecting a standalone. What is stream author doing? At the moment, we've got Volts. I'm looking at Volts old school RS simulator port to see. One moment. Yeah, and I'm merging some stuff in. 1 second. Alright. Uh, 1 second, folks. Well, it'll be really cool if we can show this thing to people. I'd like to know where the setup stuff is for this. Did this not work? Python pufferel. What? Like, that's not even the right folder, right? There's no pufferel. It would be pufferlib.pufferel. And then this isn't going to work because the config is not there. Why can't I see you? 1 second-ish up. Camera go back on in a second. Some stuff in the background. Folder structure again. Yeah, I want to play with the end. You went off mute. You can still hear me, yeah? I'll have the cam back on in a minute. Continue when it's fixed. That works. I guess I can take a look at a couple other PRs in the meanwhile. Handle on Twitter, J Suarez. And we have all our educational stuff on here as well. All these articles. Zelda make a good RLN. If you could make it fast, Anish. I actually, Lean Key in the Discord did a port of Zelda at one point. Well, not a port, like an emulator wrapper version of Zelda, and it was just too slow. XN. Would it be helpful if I just merged this thing, Jess? It looks short. And do you know the funny thing about Hex? That's my username. That's a fun coincidence. How does this get defined? What? Wait, how did he do this? Okay, new line curly bracer is not appreciated. Other than that, though. Oh. It's just hard-coded here. That's fine. It's simple enough. We can just merge this. This. Upper lip shenanigans. There, minus 100 lines of just curly braces. Another bunch of lines of curly braces. First time to work. after is easy and smooth. I mean, if you don't have experience with the low-level stuff finish, it's going to be a big change. Right, it's going to just be a big change. Shared headers. Ooh, what shared headers do you have, Vault? Do you have new stuff that's like just OSRS specific? Because in that case, you would make the build script, download it to Vendored, I guess. Or that doesn't make any fucking sense. That's the whole point of Vendored, is that it's pre-downloaded. I guess what stuff do you have in there is my question. I think vendor slash OSRS makes sense depending on what it is. It's all shared headers. What do you mean it's all shared headers? Oh, if it's not external libraries, if it's just your code, then yeah, it just goes in source OSRS. Oh, you mean shared across the scenarios? Yeah, see, this is one of the slightly awkward things with the way you have it at the moment. I guess for now, you would just put it in source OSRS, and then you would add some commands to the build script to like link that for OSRS. Add like one line. Yeah, hex is done. Example end like this. Yeah, Vault, I mean, it's a big env. It's gonna take a little bit. I think longer term, you'd probably, what you would do is you would have one well, it depends if we need different hypers, I guess, for the different scenarios. There are a few ways you could do it. I guess it's fine to just do it that way, right? Just have it linked. Vastly different configs. I mean, man, once you get me, if you can just get me a decent setup so that it'll just, you run the install, it downloads the assets, and then I can just build it, then I can actually play with it and I can start helping you debug. I'm not gonna do a full stream today, so presumably it'll be like tomorrow or whatever. Though actually you've got 2 days until leagues start, and then I'm busy with leagues. So hopefully, if you get something before then, I can start running some experiments over the course of that. Self play will be another env to play with. I think Hex is a simpler env. I don't know what the skill cap is on Hex, Jess. But one cool thing you'll be able to do is you'll be able to see like Elo versus Compute or something. You'll be able to get the curve for Hex versus the curve for Chess. It might be a nice little way to test self play that's not so compute hungry. So this is gonna be a bit harder. Merge. Who else did I promise? Okay, that is shit. Seeing if Pupper's a good fit. Yeah. I mean, it definitely will be. It's like, oh, that trained in 2 seconds, right? Out of the box. That is shit. I mean, when people are trying to learn stuff, I give people good feedback at the least in ish. If you saw some of the code that I wrote when I was new, like I think I've written dumber stuff than I've seen any individual contributor PR. So I'm pretty sure some of the early stuff I wrote in my first research project was worse than anything that I've ever seen PR'd to Puffer. Whose is this? I know that this is a viewer's. Forgetting which viewer this is. Is it 3-0 PR or 4-0 PR? It's a 3-0 PR. Not not bad though, right? Oh, dumb you. Anish, I don't think it's possible nowadays. So not only was I like 16 and had been trained in Java of all things, Java and MATLAB, that was my intro to programming. But I was also so incredibly sleep deprived that it's a wonder that I was able to learn anything at all. Let me go check on one thing and then we'll do we will merge this one after quick bench set. A very underrated training split is just doing the thing you want to be better at every day. 10 by 10 by 225. That sounds awful, Vault. Why the hell would I do that? That sounds terrible. Great feeling after. Squat's always been my worst lift. My best was only like a 325. I think, have I done 2 plates for 10? I think I have done 2 plates for 10. I know I've done it for at least 8. Gym for multi-classing. It is quite effective. Could go 10 by 10 by... Yeah, but like, that's basically cardio, Vault. What's the point? Like, if I want to do cardio, I just do cardio. I already run for that. I got a 2-plate bench for 10 the other day. That was pretty good. $275 single. The first 4 sets. I've done like not 10 sets of that. I think I've done that for like 5 or 6 sets. And yeah, it sucks. It is mostly cardio though. Like lactic acid burn in your legs also counts as cardio. Tone. Nah, there's no such thing as tone, Jess. That's like fitness myth bullshit. I've also just never particularly enjoyed that lift, Vault, of all of them. I was going for the IRL strength cape emote before I hurt my shoulders. Snapped. Yeah, that sucks. Yeah, I'm really bad about warming up for stuff, but I do stretch. Um, like usually in the evening. Makes a really big difference. You either have to actually always do your warm up or you have to actually do some dedicated stretching. How'd you hurt your shoulder? Somebody distracted me on a dumbbell press vault. I think the shoulder is like supposed to be mostly healed by now, but it kind of just healed weird. And the it's really not worth me going for heavy overhead now. So I just compensate and I just go do a bunch of heavy bench. I need to do some sort of overhead pressing at some point, we'll see. Yeah, so Volt, I do like this type of stretch. You know, this behind and like there every night before bed. That's actually been helping a lot, and I no longer am worried about hurting myself on bench really. Because I do bench really super often. So it never gets like, you know, it's never like, oh, it's cold, you haven't benched in a few days, you weren't warmed up. Super wide. No, wide is normal, man. Wide is I bench wide as well. It's not why you're hurting it. Just need like some good stretching and maybe warm up. Hello, that guy. Welcome. We are merging some ends. How's this thing work? Oh, up, down, space. Oh, it's one of these puzzles. Okay, this is kind of cool, right? I could see this being a decent little RLN. Ms per second. You mean Ms per second? Ms per second merge numbers. Five 7 mil. On defaults. Well, this dude just didn't fucking follow the spec, it seems. Kind of irritating. Yeah, he just didn't add perf. Perf is a required thing, my guy. Just doesn't reset. Discord. Is it above the max legal width grip? Like for competition? Is this you? Is this you just casually flexing a... Jesus. 35. 345 bench? For reps? Jesus. What is that? Is that index finger on the outer ring? You're not super heavy for that bench either. That's a damn good bench. Holy shit. So yeah, pay attention, folks. Contribute to Puffer Be Jacked. That's a solid-ass bench. I'm trying to get myself up to a 3-plate single at the moment. Even a bit outside outer. I think index finger on the ring is the max legal width, if I recall. It's about where I bench. I'll do either middle finger or index finger. I got to train with the Florida State bench champ a few times in Florida. He was just one of the trainers at the gym and wasn't even charging much. Um, and he benches quite a bit narrower, which is funny. Like I max is like 450. Ring finger on inner ring. On inner ring. Yeah, I think my bar's only got the one outer ring. Because it's yeah, I just bench with the Ohio power bar. Not like a dedicated bench bar, you know. The bars I have in here, I've got 2 Rogue deadlift bars. I've got an Ohio power bar in stainless that I keep on the bench. And then I've got Rogue 55-pound squat bar. Even narrower. I mean, if you're benching super narrow, of course you're not going to put the same numbers. Basically training triceps. And presumably you know this. Train long enough to bench that. Good shape is an understatement. I mean, those would be like stupid good numbers even by the standards of the like the nutty powerlifting gym I go to in Florida. took that video to show it for how weak I've gotten. You gotta be shitting me. What's this? 2 plates and change? That's pretty narrow. Is that... Are those 30 kg plates? What's that say? Wait, what? Does that say 20 kg or does it say more than that? Facts. Yeah, I had really bad pneumonia a year and a half ago. I was in the hospital. Like completely screwed up my whole fitness situation. Sucks. Yeah, that's a really pretty narrow. Yeah, that's real narrow. I mean, like, no wonder. Still repping 2 plates at that. My wide grip 2 plates is like 8 or 10 reps. Yeah, it does take a lot of training. Well, Volt, there's this awesome hack called having a bench in your living room. It's pretty good. Well, I don't have it. Pretty solid setup. It's pretty funny because like the space behind you is the only other space I have in the building. Like the entire footprint is just devoted to servers and weights. Box is noisy. A little bit. It's kind of just like a background white noise. Bench your favorite. Um, Depends if you count overhead press. It's kind of gone back and forth. I like pressing, but I can't really at the moment. Deadlift's been good. My best was like a 410. Um, I'm a little out of shape for it now, but I think I could probably get mine back to 4 plates very quickly. I did a few months ago. I did 4 plates, no belt, no straps. Oh, that mole thing? Yeah, I've seen those. I don't think that would be useful. That doesn't look solved at all, does it? Mark. At least have yourself a rack for the garage, right? This annoys me when I get stuff like, because it's like newbie environment, and now I have to spend my time figuring out where they broke it. Ah, see, this is the nice thing about just being in the middle of nowhere. Everything's here, kinda. This is kind of why I like doing my thing with research. Like just not having to be there. especially in AI right now. Like, I honestly think SF would be the worst place to go to do AI stuff. In the sense that you just end up thinking about the same crap everybody else is thinking about, and it's so much noise. So much bloody noise. Yeah, Jess, this PR is broken. San Diego, oh yeah, because that's super cheap. At least San Diego, you just have permanently nice weather. But taxed to death. Here than here. Oh wait, are you not in the U.S.? I figured you were in the U.S. It's a deterministic and well, it's non-deterministic, not undeterministic. First of all, deterministic just means it's the same every time. Um, but it's kind of weird because in this case we say it is deterministic because it's reproducible. There's still randomness in here. It's just that it's controlled randomness. Finish? Oh yeah, you're just screwed there. Yeah, that's screwy. To be fair, if you're picking a place in the US, California is the place where of everything in the US you get taxed the most to death. If you're not in California and you're just in a random suburb, everything is half the price and you take at least 10% off the top of your taxes. 10 percentage points is like 20% of your tax bill. I see, this is problem. Texas. Texas is pretty good. Depends what tech you're working on, Volt. Spencer's in Texas now. Damn hot there a lot of the year. No, LLMs you can reproduce results, James. They're very sensitive to the inputs. But you set the temperature. I forget if it's 0 or 1. I think it's 0. You always get the same results. Well, assuming that your implementation is good. All ML that isn't LLMs. Well, there's plenty of that, Bolt. Presumably by Finnish standards, anything, like, basically anything would be a several x multiple. I think you'd be able to do, you should be able to get something quite good based on the stuff I've seen with the RSM so far. Also with Texas, you get a complimentary shotgun, pistol, and assault rifle as soon as you cross the border. Nice. Yeah, it's an American perk. Of freedoms. sort of risk modeling. What does that mean? Appropriate. I mean, that's just the same as saying it's stupid. Like, no, you don't get any guarantees on anything, just like with people, and it's very stupid. Wanted to say, yeah, I gotta do Jonah's PR soon. Just that one's a bigger one because I actually have to test that one super carefully for neural MMO. Cool. How's New M? Spencer, we've got Lights Out, Overcooked, and what was the other one I merged earlier today? You can tell I'm still I literally can't remember the name of the end that I merged earlier. Oh yeah, Boxabon. They got 3 ends merged. They work nicely. Here, look at this. Oh yeah, and Hex, so 4 ends. Yeah, I don't think the problem is risk modeling. That's both an over and under simplification. Why can't I, there. Why can't I stick this in here? Push this. Not bad. It's been 3 hours. I've merged 4 M's. I said I was gonna do about a 4-hour stream. So what else we got to do today? I mean, you're kind of just saying stuff, right? Like, I don't know what he just said, and frankly, I don't think he knows either. Oh, come on. Plus, how do we add plus 1k lines on this? Okay, fine. You know what? 600 of it is a benchmark. Okay, that's not bad. 600. Okay, it's plus 350. For ocean. Let me see what he did. How's Boxabun doing?